The wine glass shattered against the hardwood floor, a crimson stain blooming like a wound. I stood frozen, my breath caught in my throat, as the shards glinted under the chandelier's dim glow. My wife, Elise, stared at me from across the dining room, her eyes wide with something I couldn't name. Fear, defiance, or maybe both. "You went through my phone," she whispered, her voice trembling like a taut wire. The question wasn't an accusation. It was a confession, and it sliced through the silence of our meticulously curated life. We'd been married 7 years, each one a careful dance of love and routine. Elise was my anchor, her laugh, her quick wit, the way she'd hum off-key while cooking. But lately, her warmth had cooled. She'd linger in the bathroom, her phone screen glowing behind the frosted glass door. She'd laugh at messages I never saw, her fingers flying over the keys with a secretive urgency. I'd told myself it was nothing, work stress, maybe, or a friend in crisis. But doubt is a slow poison, and last night, it had finally spilled over. I hadn't meant to snoop. I'd only wanted to check the time on her phone while mine charged upstairs. But there it was, unlocked, a notification flashing. "Miss you already. Same time tomorrow." The name, Daniel, meant nothing to me. My stomach churned as I scrolled, each message a dagger. "You make me feel alive again. Can't wait to see you." My hands shook, the phone slipping from my grip. When Elise walked in, her face drained of color, I knew. She didn't need to say a word. "Why?" I asked now, my voice low, barely holding together. The dining room smelled of the rosemary chicken she'd made, the table still set for a dinner we'd never eat. Her silence was louder than any answer. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she finally said, her voice cracking. She stepped closer, her bare feet crunching on the glass. "It's not what you think, Mark. It's complicated." Complicated. I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "You're texting another man about how alive he makes you feel. That's not complicated, Elise. That's betrayal." Her eyes shimmered with tears, but I saw something else, defiance, maybe guilt, but not enough. "You don't understand," she said, her voice rising. "You're always working, always distracted." I felt invisible. "Daniel," he saw me. The words hit like a slap. Invisible. I'd built my world around her, late nights at the office to afford this house, the vacations, the life she wanted. But as I stood there, the memory of her distant smiles and curt replies gnawed at me. Had I missed her fading away? Or was this just her excuse, a way to shift the blame? "Tell me everything," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Who is he? How long?" She sank into a chair, her hands twisting in her lap. The room felt smaller, the air thick with the scent of spilled wine and betrayal. "He's a colleague," she said. "It started 6 months ago. Drinks after work, then, more. I didn't plan it, Mark. It just happened." 6 months. Half a year of lies woven into our mornings over coffee, our evenings on the couch. I saw her now, slipping out for late meetings, her perfume lingering in the car. The signs had been there, faint as whispers, and I'd ignored them, clinging to the illusion of us. "Did you sleep with him?" The question burned my throat, but I needed to hear it. She looked away, her silence louder than any confession. My chest tightened, a raw ache spreading like wildfire. I wanted to scream, to break something, but instead, I just stood there, drowning in the wreckage of our life. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears streaming now. "I love you, Mark. I never stopped. I got lost." Love. The word felt like a mockery. I turned away, my eyes landing on the photo above the fireplace, us at the beach, her head on my shoulder, the sunset painting us in gold. Had that been a lie too? My mind raced, replaying every moment, searching for the cracks I'd missed. The late-night calls she'd taken in the other room. The way she'd flinch when I touched her unexpectedly. The truth had been there, hiding in plain sight, and I'd been too blind, or too afraid, to see it. "I need air," I said, grabbing my keys. She called after me, but I didn't stop. The night was cool, the streetlights casting long shadows on the pavement. I walked, my shoes scuffing against the asphalt, each step a battle between rage and grief. I loved her. I hated her. I wanted to hold her and never see her again. How could both be true? When I returned, the house was dark, the dining room cleaned of glass and wine. Elise sat on the couch, her face swollen from crying. "I'll end it," she said before I could speak. "I'll tell him it's over. I want us to fix this." Her words should have brought relief, but they didn't. They felt like a bandage on a severed limb. "How do I trust you again?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "How do I know you won't get lost again?" She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "I don't know," she admitted. "But I'll try. I'll do anything." The sincerity in her voice was a knife, twisting deeper. I wanted to believe her, to rebuild what we'd had. But trust, once broken, is like shattered glass, jagged, impossible to piece together perfectly. I thought of Daniel, a faceless shadow who'd stolen parts of her I'd never get back. I thought of the storage unit I'd rented last month for her old furniture, a space now heavy with a different kind of weight. I'd been planning to surprise her, to clear space for a nursery we'd dreamed of. Now, the idea felt like a cruel joke. "Mark," she said, her voice breaking. "Please. Say something." I looked at her, the woman I'd vowed to love forever, and saw a stranger. The realization hit like a physical blow. I didn't know her anymore. And maybe I never had. "I need time," I said finally, the words heavy with finality. "I don't know what happens next." As I walked upstairs, her sobs echoed behind me. In our bedroom, I found her phone on the nightstand, its screen dark. I didn't touch it. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall where we'd hung our wedding vows, framed in gold. To love, honor, and cherish. The words mocked me now, a promise broken in ways I couldn't unsee. But then, a new thought slithered into my mind, cold and sharp. I hadn't checked my own phone. Last week, a co-worker's playful text had lingered in my inbox, her words too warm, too familiar. I'd deleted it, hadn't I? Or had I kept it? Tucked away like a secret I didn't yet understand. My heart pounded as I reached for my phone, the screen lighting up with a notification I hadn't expected. "Hey, you free tomorrow?" The room spun, and I realized the truth wasn't just Elise's to bear. The betrayal wasn't just hers, it was ours.